is your land.
Come seek an adventure into your pirates, eh?
Made the jump to life.
Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
I'm TC.
And this is Amy with the Disneyland Beat. Today, we have something really special and really spooky. Recently, Snow White's Enchanted Wish opened at Disneyland, and we really like the new refurbishments. It's really well done.
Of course, we were very familiar with the previous version, Snow White's Scary Adventures, having ridden it many times. But lots of folks don't realize, or they often forget, that even that version of the ride was not the original.
Snow White's Adventures opened with the park and has been lightly but repeatedly refurbished and added to from 1959 all the way through the 1970s. Then, it closed for 2 years in 1981, this time to be completely rebuilt and redesigned. It opened with the new Fantasyland as the Snow White's Scary Adventures we've all enjoyed for so many years.
Amy and I grew up visiting Walt Disney World more regularly, so we don't really have any early memories of the original ride.
The original version, opened from 1955 to 1981, is often recalled as being much more frightening, and indeed it was, though perhaps not as much as its reputation had suggested. The footage here is from the 1962 movie 40 Pounds of Trouble, filmed in full color in Disneyland. The original Snow White attraction started happily enough, right at the Seven Dwarfs Mine before entering a serene forest, but then at the fork in the road, it turns towards the Queen's Castle instead of the Seven Dwarfs' house, and things go downhill quickly.
The end of the ride, from the witch at her cauldron saying, "Have an apple, dearie?" to the boulder climax essentially stayed the same until the most recent refurbishment. Although a lot of those elements were upgraded to three-dimensional figures in 1959 and 1961.
But we wondered, could any version possibly be as scary as the original Walt Disney World version we rode as kids? It was open from 1971 to 1994, and when we dug up the footage, it all came flooding back. This version of the ride was the queen of scary. It absolutely terrified both of us as kids, riding it several times before it got refurbished in 1994 to have a much gentler ride experience.
Of course, the ride exists at Tokyo Disneyland, and the version is unchanged. It's very close to Snow White's Scary Adventures, just like the one at Disneyland, almost beat for beat, though it does borrow a few elements from Walt Disney World.
And the ride at Disneyland Paris is also based on that same Scary Adventures version, with just slight variations. But all the other versions at least have some happiness. They dance in the dwarf's house and have some fun in the mines. But the original Walt Disney World version is nothing but jump scares and screams. Even the woodland creatures you pass on the ride look terrified.
Once you view all of them, we think hands down the scariest version is the original Walt Disney World rendering of the ride. At least it's on film for us to review. It really is the witch's ride. She just never lets up. In fact, it's pretty easily interpreted that she gets you at the end. It's more like Snow White's fever dream. And not only that, this footage from 1991 and posted by the YouTube channel Widen Your World, description below, looks just like it was filmed by the crew of the Blair Witch Project, and it just adds to the tension.
So we invite those who experienced either of the previous Disneyland versions or the Tokyo or Paris versions to comment with your thoughts on which version is the most terrifying.
So now, with no further ado, we present the 1991 Walt Disney World version of Snow White's Adventures, perhaps the scariest version of the ride ever made.